Okay, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how we can solve systems of equations using a method called the addition or subtraction method. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two equations. Okay, the first one is 4x minus y equals 7. Second one's 2x plus y equals 5. Okay, so in this case we want to solve for x and we want to solve for y. We want to find the solution. Now, in the addition or subtraction method, what we're trying to do is eliminating one of I guess you could say the terms. So, or I'm sorry, one of the pair of terms. So like, because these are both x's, this 4x and the 2x, that's a pair of terms. And then we have here with the y's, this one's really a negative 1y, this is a positive 1y. Okay, so we can eliminate either this pair or this pair. Okay, now what we have to look for is we have to look for coefficients that are either the same or the opposite. So in this case, when we look at these coefficients, they are not the same. One's a 4 and one's a 2. And they're not opposites of each other. So like the opposite of a 4 would be negative 4. Okay, the opposite of 2 would be negative 2. But in this case, let's look at these coefficients. They're not the same because this one's a negative 1 and this is positive 1. But are they opposites of each other? And the answer to that is yes. So when you have coefficients that are opposite of each other, that's when you want to use the addition method. Okay, when you see that they're opposites. Okay, so what that means, the addition method, is that we're going to literally add both these equations together. So 4x plus 2x equals 6x, okay? And then negative 1y plus positive 1y is 0. So we've eliminated that, okay? And then 7 plus 5 equals 12. Okay, so now we have 6x equals 12. Let's get x by itself. So divide by 6 on both sides. And now we know that x equals 2. Okay, so we know that x equals 2, but we still have to solve for y. So that's easy. And what you can do is you can take either one of these equations. I'll pick the top one. And then you can plug in the 2 for x. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that. So that was originally 4x minus y equals 7. Okay, I'm going to plug in that 2 for x. So 4 times 2 minus y equals 7. Okay, so we've got 8 minus y equals 7. I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. So now I'm left with negative y, right? Negative y equals negative 1. I want to get rid of that negative. So I can either multiply by negative 1 or divide by negative 1. I like to divide. Okay, and so we've got y equals positive 1. So our solution then, our final answer is 2, 1. Okay, now that was using the addition method. I'm going to give you an example where we're going to need to use the subtraction method. Okay, all right, and so it's going to be pretty obvious that we're going to have to use the subtraction method because you're going to see that we're going to have coefficients or a pair of coefficients that they're the same. Okay, so in this case, see how they're both the same? This one's positive 5, positive 5. So when you have coefficients that are the same, that's when you want to subtract, okay? So 5c minus 5c, that's 0. So we've just eliminated that. So we're done. We don't have any c's anymore. But now we have 3d minus negative d. So it's like that change. So 3d minus negative d, that becomes plus, so it becomes 3d plus d, which is 4d. Okay, and then 14, excuse me, 14 minus 22 equals negative 8. Okay, now we got to get d by itself, so we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. Okay, so d equals negative 2. Okay, so d equals negative 2, but remember, that's only half of the problem. We're not done. We still have to solve for c. Okay, so c, d. So this will be c, this will be d. We know what d is. It's negative 2, but we still have to solve for c. So we're going to take one of those equations, either the top or the bottom one. Let's pick maybe that bottom one, which was 5c minus d equals 22. And since we solve for d, we know that d is negative 2, so we're going to plug that in there. 5c minus negative 2 equals 22. Okay, 5c minus negative 2. Remember, so a negative of a negative, or the opposite of a negative. Okay, so this becomes plus 2. So we have 5c plus 2 equals 22. Got to get c by itself. Subtract 2 on both sides. So 5c equals 20. Got to get c, isolate c, so we have to get rid of the 5 by dividing by 5 on both sides. So c equals 4. Okay, so now c equals 4. We're going to plug that in right there. Okay, so our final answer, our final answer is 4, negative 2.